doing today, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Rich Sports Report. I got a guest with me finally. I want my guest to introduce himself since it's the first time I've had a guest. So tell the people who you are.
I'm happy to be on the Rich Report. Is Dmal, aka Woody, from the BNF podcast.
And we got a special episode for y'all guys today. As you all know, the NBA trade deadline has passed. The NBA All-Star Weekend just happened this weekend. So we got a great episode for you, all basketball affiliated, NBA jam-packed. So let's jump right into it. Let's talk about the All-Star Weekend. I want to start with the three-point contest because that was actually probably the best event of the evening of Saturday evening, I would say, because there was a dunk contest that was the headline, but we're going to talk about that after. Karl Anthony Towns actually ended up winning the three-point contest. First big man to ever win the three-point contest, and that was versus the likes of Trae Young as well as Devin Booker. There was also Zach LaVine there and Fred VanVleet. A lot of three-point shooters in there. I'm honestly surprised that Karl Anthony Towns won, and I wasn't expecting that. Did you watch the three-point contest?
No, I didn't watch it, but I seen the people who's involved in it. I seen highlights of it. I was definitely surprised that Anthony won. And he was plus like 1,200 to win. So if you're a sports bettor and you betted on Karl Anthony Towns, you definitely made a lot of money because he was plus 1,200. Some places you could have got him at plus 1,400.
And that's actually crazy too, because me being the non-betting man I am, if I would have saw the odds, there's no way in hell I would have ever put a bet on Karl Anthony Towns because he's probably the last person I would have expected. So if you did that shit, you made yourself a pretty penny. And shout out to you for being smart. But shout out to Karl Anthony Towns as well for doing his thing and winning the three-point contest. Very competitive. I'm happy for the man, but let's move on to the slam dunk contest, which was absolutely atrocious. Trash. That shit was shit, my guy. Like that was probably this 2022 slam dunk contest for the NBA was hands down the worst slam dunk contest of all time. I can genuinely say that. Why do I say that? Not one person was able to complete a dunk on their first try.
What about Cole Anthony with the Timbs?
I was about to say, you had a nigga wearing Timbs trying to dunk, and the nigga's 6'1" to begin with. How does that make sense? Timbs weigh 10 pounds collectively. I don't know what you was trying to do. But we had Cole Anthony, Jalen Green, Obi Toppin, and Juan Toscano Anderson from the Warriors, who was attempting dunks that he definitely has never even tried in practice. He made it to the final round, and it looked like he didn't know what dunks to do because he didn't expect to make it that far. Did you watch the dunk contest, at least?
I did not watch the dunk contest. I seen highlights of the dunk contest.
What'd you think of it?
From what I've been hearing, it's been trash. The consensus of the dunk contest, it was not good. But how do you feel as far as the dunk contest this year, and how can they improve on it? Because I felt like before this year, they always have been having issues of getting the right participants in the dunk contest, and bring that value to the dunk contest. How do you feel about that?
So for me, the last great dunk contest was probably 2016 with Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon when they had that duel where they were just going back to back.
Zach LaVine won that, right?
Zach LaVine won it, but Aaron Gordon should have won it, in my opinion. But you remember that. They were doing crazy dunks the entire time. Yeah. So for me, I mean, the best way to get the dunk contest back to where it was, where we have those memorable moments like Vince Carter doing the between the legs East Bay dunk and just pointing to the sky. Everyone knows that moment if you're a basketball fan. The way we can get back to that is getting the superstars involved in the dunk contest. The dunk contest is memorable because we have the likes of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, Dwight Howard, in that bitch, Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon, the last two memorable names. So we need to get the superstars back involved into the slam dunk contest in order to make it memorable, because the names attract fans, which bring money, and money is good for everyone. So the best way, in my opinion, to improve that would be to get the best players, but they don't want to do that because the dunk contest, as we can see over the last couple of years, the reputation has gone down. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking we bring in people outside of the NBA
thinking that too.
Yeah, to put on a show essentially.
Yeah,
because it may be the NBA All-Star Weekend, but we can bring in people that are at an NBA level when it comes to dunking.
Yeah,
we have street ballers or YouTubers that dunk for a living. That's all they do. They work on their bounce. They work on their moves. Bring those people in, have them compete. Maybe have a couple NBA players in there to compete with them to actually challenge them, because when you're at that level of competition in the NBA, any nigga challenge you anyway, you're gonna feel some type of way and get competitive. Or you
can have the NBA versus.
Exactly.
You know, and the finals would be the NBA. Whoever made it from the NBA and whoever made it outside the NBA, they can link up together. But I definitely feel like they need to add something to the NBA dunk contest to make it something, because the value is down.
Exactly. So, like I said, we can bring it. The NBA should bring in people outside of the NBA, like YouTubers. There's a person in top of mind, Jordan Killian. This man is a professional dunker. Bring in the professional dunkers to woo the crowd, bring back the hype, headline the dunk contest, or make that dunk contest the main event like it should be, and restore it to the greatness and restore the memories that we're used to. I think that's how you bring back the dunk contest, but we'll see what happens next year, because as we both said, this year's dunk contest was actually terrible, and there's no way the NBA is going to let that shit fly next year, so I can't wait to see what they implement. But I want to talk to you about the top 75 players in the NBA, because during the All-Star game at halftime, they were doing a selection thing where they were just bringing in all the living top 75 players. And I just wanted to talk to you about, or ask your opinion. Do you think there's anyone in the top 75 list that shouldn't be there? And do you think there's people that aren't there that should be there?
They had a lot of great players there, but I felt like who should have been on there was T-Mac, Tracy McGrady. He wasn't on there, and I was surprised that he wasn't on there. But I felt like he should have been on there, definitely. Even though his career been fucked up with injuries and shit like that, but he definitely should have made the list even with injuries being said.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. T-Mac is the only nigga to ever score 13 points in 35 seconds versus a championship team. T-Mac on Orlando was if you don't know T-Mac on Orlando, go watch highlights. This man was averaging 30 in his sleep on a team that gave him absolutely no help. Like, T-Mac is a legend. T-Mac is a Hall of Famer. I wholeheartely agree with that. I personally think Anthony Davis shouldn't be in the top 75 because
I agree.
Because yes, he may have the hype. He may be a superstar in today's league, but he's not a Hall of Famer in my eyes. Well, he's a Hall of Famer, but he's not a top 75 player. I think Dwight Howard, a player on the Lakers, should have taken his spot. Why? Because Dwight Howard was more dominant in his prime than Anthony Davis ever was. Dwight Howard was more dominant in his prime than Anthony Davis ever was. Dwight Howard was a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. Dwight Howard's
not in the top 75?
No, not at all. You see how you're astonished at that? Dwight Howard led a Magic's team as the center point and main player to the finals to play against Kobe.
I just think the narrative on Dwight Howard has been bad, publicity-wise, media-wise. Then you got Shaquille O'Neal, who hasn't, gave him props or whatever the case may be. Doesn't help for Dwight Howard, but Dwight Howard is definitely top 75.
Definitely.
Period.
Like, Shaq and Dwight Howard, they squashed their beef, but like the reason why I think people don't consider Dwight Howard top 75 is because of the end of his career and how that's gone. But you can't take away from what he's done during his Orlando days. Yeah. His Orlando days in itself is a Hall of Fame career.
They made it to the finals, even though they lost.
You know what I mean? Made it to the finals, led the league in blocks, led the league in rebounding so many times, brought his team to the finals.
He made it to the finals, and he didn't. What was the other star on his team? Jameer Nelson?
He had Hedo Turkoglu, Rashard Lewis, Jameer Nelson, and an old ass Vince Carter.
Come on, bro.
You're not doing anything with that. He had an injured ass.
That's one of the worst finals lineup to me that I can think of that I've seen.
You got to think about it. Dwight Howard's Orlando team was the team that sent LeBron to Miami. That's all I'm saying. But Dwight Howard is one person I think that should be in the top 75. Another person I think should be in the top 75, Klay Thompson. I understand he's been injured the last 3 years and he's just coming back, so a lot of people don't have recency bias and haven't seen him in a while. But Klay Thompson got 3 chips. This man is an all defensive team regular. Man guards the best player consistently. Top 5 3-point shooter of all time. As well as the fact that, like I said, he's a 3-time fucking champion. And if he wasn't on Golden State, I feel like he would be putting up better numbers. And I feel like he gets put second fiddle to Stephen Curry because of who Stephen Curry is, but it is what it is. But I just think he's a person that should be in the top 75 as well.
Do you think if they do the top 75 again, right, they probably won't do it again. They'll probably add more to it. But do you feel like they could do the top 75 again and take out players, or they're just going to make it top 80 or top 85?
Nah,
top
I mean, you got to think about it. The only reason they did top 75 is because the NBA has been around for 75 years. So it's just going to keep going up. So there's going to be more people included in that list. Like, I think next one's probably going to be like top 100. So who knows what's going to be on that list, but that's 25 years from now. So there's going to be a lot of players coming in and out, and I think there's going to be more than 25 players that probably take people off that list. So only time will tell.
I don't think they'll ever take anybody off the list. I don't think you could put somebody on that list and take them off.
This is how I think about it. There was 75 great players before this list. So James Harden, Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, the likes of them, they had to kick someone off the list because they're recent players. You feel me? So I think the same thing is going to happen in 25 years. They're going to kick people off the list and just keep updating it. And you got to think about it.
Not off the 75 list. They're not taking anybody off the 75 list. They're going to leave people off the list. They're not going to take anybody.
All right, yeah, they'll leave people off the list. But like, for example, there's people that played in the 1950s that have been died. I'm sorry, but they're going to be off the list in 25 years because no one alive has seen them play. So how are you going to be the top greatest and no one knows how great you are? But I don't want to spend too much time on this topic. We got a couple other things to talk about. I want to talk about the All-Star game real quick. Steph Curry won MVP. I wanted to talk to you about his performance. Did you see what this man was doing from the 3-point line, just jacking shit up, turning around like
incredible. Making light-skinned niggas be great again. So that's a point for Team Rich.
Hey, I didn't even call myself light skin. He called me light skin. You see it, you hear it. It is what it is. But yo, Steph Curry, hands down, is the best 3-point shooter of all time. Best shooter of all time. He's correct. He had 16 threes in the All-Star game, broke a record by his teammate Klay Thompson, top 5 3-point shooter of all time. And the rest is history. LeBron hit the game winner. It was beautiful. It was magical to see. But since we're on the topic of LeBron, did you hear him talk about him wanting to play with his son?
Yes, I did hear that.
What do you think about that? I think it's actually crazy that he's been playing long enough to the point where he can be playing with his actual son.
That's dope. Well, he came in the league at a young age.
18. So,
that gives him a chance to be able to play with his son. He had kids at a young age, too. So, I think that's dope. Hopefully, LeBron is able to do that. Like, I seen Doc Rivers able to coach his son, but to watch a nigga play with his son, that's super, super, super
that's
dope.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, he's able to do that and be on the same team. If LeBron can accomplish that, which I believe he can, that's super dope. But honestly, I don't think his son is good enough yet to be in the NBA. I haven't seen nothing crazy, but hopefully it does happen. I'm all for it.
His son's a 4-star recruit right now, top 40 recruit in the junior class. So anything can happen. There's 3 years removed before he even gets close to the NBA. So I personally don't think he's a one and done player either. But we'll see what happens. 3 years is a lot of time. We've seen a lot happen. LaMelo Ball was a top 50 player in his class and ended up being a lottery pick 3 years from that. So anything's possible for Bronny Jr. Let's see what happens, but that's a feel-good story. I like that. I like that black nepotism.
Yep,
but last but not least, I want to pivot to the NFL. I want to get my man's favorite sport in here. So Brian Flores has actually been hired as an assistant or as a specialist. I don't know what his exact title is, but he works for the Pittsburgh Steelers as a defensive specialist coach.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get your opinion on that because he has currently a lawsuit against the NFL going right now, and I'm surprised he was able to get a job with that lawsuit going. But I just want to get your opinion on everything.
I was surprised also, but the Rooney family, they are innovative and they're like very progressive when it comes to the NFL. They're giving black coaches a chance. We got Mike Tomlin. with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I was surprised that he was able to get an opportunity, but it was the Pittsburgh Steelers, so I wasn't too surprised. So I'm happy for Flores, man. I'm happy that he has the opportunity, to still coach and still pursue his lawsuit on the NFL. Because I honestly believe that he should have never been fired, but it is what it is.
Do you think he'll ever be a head coach again after this lawsuit?
No.
Okay.
That I strongly believe that it won't happen for him. It's like Kaepernick being a quarterback again, but he could have been. But but that would have took away from his lawsuit or whatever the case may be. But I don't think Brian Flores could be an NFL head coach again. I feel like Steelers is his last stop, to tell you the truth. But we never know. Hopefully.
Nah, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think this Steelers pit stop was just a consummation cry, or I don't even know how you say it, consummation prize, essentially. Mike Tomlin is the only black coach in the NFL right now, so it makes sense that he would hire Brian Flores. But I think after this lawsuit is completed, that the NFL is just going to do what they did with what they did with Colin Kaepernick and blackball this man because they can't control him. But that's really all we got for you. There's a lot more coming. We got a lot more in store for you with the Rich Sports Report. Like I said, All-Star Weekend was this weekend. Brian Flores news. We want to update you guys with everything going on. Like I said, we had our special guest Dmal here today.
Hold on, before we end it. What's your finals prediction? You gotta give your predictions right now after the All-Star break. Who you think is going to the finals from the East and the West?
I think the Golden State Warriors are going to make it out the finals. They're getting James Wiseman back as well as Draymond Green in 3 weeks, and that's them coming out the West. And as for the East, it's going to be the Bucks. I think they're going to repeat as Eastern Conference champions and make it back to the finals, but I don't think they're going to beat the Warriors. They're battle-tested. They're deeper. They have better shooting, and I'll never go against the best shooter in the world. So I think the Bucks versus Warriors in the finals with the Warriors winning. How about you?
I'm a big fan of the Bulls coming out the East, but I don't know if they can beat the Bucks. But I agree with you. I like the Bucks coming out of the East. I really do. I like the Bucks coming out of the East. And for the West, I like Phoenix Suns.
Okay. Number one seed?
I like Phoenix Suns to it's a rematch, pretty much. I like a rematch to happen again with the Bucks and the Phoenix Suns. So, we'll see if
Top 5 players in the league?
Top 5 right now? Number 1, Joel Embiid. Number 2, Giannis. Number 3, Nikola Jokic. Number 4, LeBron. Number 5, Luka Doncic.
Wow. Top 5 players in the league. I'm not going to say it in any order. I'm going to go with LeBron James. I'm going to go with Joel Embiid. I'm going to go with Steph Curry. I'm going to go with Kevin Durant. And 5, I'm going to go with the boy from Denver, the Nuggets as
Jokic.
Well. Jokic. I'm going to go with him as number 5.
Respectable list.
So.
Hey, but you heard our top 5. You heard our thoughts regarding everything going on in the league as well as the NFL and Brian Flores. I got a lot coming for you guys next week. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. Like I said, we had a special guest, Dmal. Tell them where they can see your socials at.
My socials, Twitter, Dmal1313. Instagram is BNF Podcast. And also, if you're looking to come to the best parties, EMG Boston on IG.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here. So welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Rich Sports Report. It was a great episode. I can't wait to see you guys next week. But it's to see you later. It's not a bye, but love.